It wasn't pretty, but we'll take it and take our 3 points back down the M1 to London. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Good News from Block 5 with me, your host SJ. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please leave a 5-star review or a 5-star rating on those platforms. And also, we've added TikTok to our repertoire. So if you do have TikTok, please follow the link on the YouTube channel bio or search a Good News from Block 5 into TikTok and you should find us there. So yeah, we started a Premier League campaign with a 1-0 victory at Old Trafford. We're going to get into that today. Firstly, the starting lineup. I think I predicted that correctly on the last pod, except for White starting for Timber. I'll get into that later as to why I thought Timber might have started and the problems it seemed to pose us in the game. But yeah, I mean, predictable lineup as I thought. The bench was pretty strong, as you could see. But the subs that came on and the player that didn't get on, Ranieri didn't get on, Trossard didn't get on, Mascara. Obviously, Kepa's backup keeper. I mean, there was no space on the bench for our new signing, Christian Norgard. You know, we got Brentford's captain in our squad, and he's not even good enough to make our bench. I mean, he's good enough, but there's no space for him to make our bench. Such is the strength of our bench these days, which is a welcome relief from last season, where we had a lot of youngsters, a lot of reserves, under 18s on our bench. You know, the likes of Nathan Butler, Adeji. So yeah, I mean, players that they've left the club, you know, at this time. So that was good to see. And United set up as I expected them to do with their summer signings. I thought Sesko might start, but he didn't. Came on in the game. But yeah, I mean, getting into the game, the first 10 minutes, I thought we were very slow. Very, very slow. I felt like we lost like aerial battles. We were losing the ground battles. There was a lot of head tennis at various points in the game, to be honest. And at the end of the head tennis, we didn't end up with the ball, which led to quite a few fouls. I think we did 4 fouls in the first 10 minutes, where given we finished the game with 19, it shows in the first 10 minutes we just weren't really at the races. Just not there, a yard off the ball, having to, you know what I mean, bring them down or clip him if we can get near to them just to stop the play. And I think, obviously, with our set pieces, our throw-ins, and our corners, we take time anyway. But just in that first 10 minutes, at the end of those first 10 minutes, we had a throw-in the corner in their final third, which actually led to the first goal. But we took our time on that throw-in to set up, which I think was helpful to take the sting out of the game because they were all over us in terms of just keeping that ball. I mean, we had a few misplaced passes in our final third in that first 10 minutes. It's not great. It wasn't a great start. Nothing, just a bit of ring rust, a bit of nervousness. But I wasn't expecting that, to be honest, given how we ended our pre-season fixtures with that emphatic win against Bilbao. The boys looking very good that game. I thought we might take that positivity into this game and start like a house on fire at Old Trafford, but it wasn't meant to be. So as I was saying, we got a throw in their corner. I took our time to set it up as we do. The ball ended back up at Calafiore, got to the byline, crossed it, didn't pick one of our players out, which is fine. But instantly, he set the counter press and nicked the ball back from United as they tried to play out from the back. Laid off to Odegaard, who got us our corner. Again, we set it up, and as expected, being that set pieces are very profitable for us, teams have been watching our videos and seeing how we do, so we have to keep reinventing ourselves, you know. Nicolas Jova, I'm sure this summer spent time on the field with the players, different runs, different tactics, different ways to get players open. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of focus on Gabriel, who's our main scorer from corners and our biggest threat. So we have to find ways to get our players open, whether it be run to the back post, run to the far post, half there, half there. But, you know, I think we'll have something up our sleeve. And we had that straight away in our first game of the season. Declan Rice, fantastic ball, just under the keeper's crossbar. I mean, if I'm honest, I think I did moan during pre-season about the fouls that I thought were on Raya during the North London derby against Tottenham. This was a bit just too similar, but as shown later in the first half, if a keeper's strong enough to punch the ball away, then those little tugs don't really mean anything. But I think in the pre-season one, I think there were more than tugs on Raya. That's why I complained at the time. Um, but yeah, their keepers, for me, on his heels, flapped at the ball, and the ball's fallen perfectly for Calafiori on the line, which I think, if we're all honest, me, you, the listener, you, the viewer, I think we all would have scored that goal, which had a very, didn't have a, it's actually been a 1 XG, to be honest, a 1.5 XG, because it seemed very impossible to miss. But I'm sure we will know someone in our phone book that probably would have missed it, had to completely close their eyes or inadvertently head the ball off the line. So yeah, 1-0 up. I thought that might give the boys a lot of confidence, maybe help us elevate our game, but it wasn't to be. I think the way Man United set up, they had Dorgu and Mbuemo really high, pushing back our fullbacks who were actually not there, which allowed them to get time on the ball. Which is actually a very good setup from Amarin. I didn't expect that myself. The width to come from Mbuemo and Dorgu, because obviously Dorgu was their left wing back, and he actually wasn't. He was actually one of their highest players in terms of average position on the pitch. So he wasn't too fussed about getting back. And I think that was because Dallo on the other side, he wasn't. He can be an attacking fullback, but he wasn't concerned with attacking. He didn't really cross that halfway line. So when Dorgu was forward, it essentially was a forward at back. Um, so Dallo was always there, which I think affected Martinelli's game. Can get onto Martinelli just briefly. I don't think he had a great game, to be honest. He just seems to be not getting involved in our attack. I'm not sure if because our concentration of attack is down the right hand side. Um, I mean, is there a question maybe that Martin Odegaard should play more central as a number 10 to help facilitate both sides? Personally, I think that's something he could do. But Martin Odegaard is pretty much set in his ways, and it's shown in this game that his first forward to get the ball to Saka. Um, there was a couple of times in the second half, especially where he's missed that through ball to Gyökeres, who's made the run just to get the ball to Saka. But we'll get on to that. Uh, so yeah, I mean, yeah. So Mbuemo, like Mbuemo as well, he was very high for Man United. He wasn't very concerned about getting back because obviously, like I said, Dallo was staying back. The only time Dallo got forward, it was if it was very certain that Mbuemo was getting the ball, and he's held it for quite enough time for him to get up and overlap for him. So yeah, I mean, Mbuemo also and Dorgu, but also Mason Mount. They were getting in that pocket either side of Zubimendi and in between our lines, which is very difficult to pick up for Zubimendi. He can't cover all that by himself. And where we have our left back who's gone roaming, and Ben White, obviously, who likes to go up and assist by Bukayo Saka on the overlap. But yeah, we were getting overrun in the middle essentially, um, which allowed them to run through us a couple of times. I mean, Cunha, who I think had a very good game. Cunha and Mbeumo, I think, had a very good game, especially Cunha, because he did it in both halves, in my opinion. He was able to get that ball and turn and dribble at us right down the middle. I mean, I've seen people say that that shouldn't happen with Zubimendi and Rice, a player running through. But Cunha, if we know Cunha's his main attributes, he's a powerful runner when he gets on the ball. Stopping, you probably stop him at the point of contact when he gets the ball at his feet, stop him there and then. Because if you allow him to turn, he will run through you. But he wasn't picking the ball up essentially in our final third. He was getting it from deep, uh, pretty much in their defensive third and travelling. But he's a very good traveller with the ball. So once he gets into full speed, he's very difficult to stop. So I wasn't really too downbeat on Zubimendi not stopping him. Um, I think defenders defended those well, especially Gabriel, because they were getting down that right hand side, a couple of times, and Bremer got down there. But he's left-footed, shooting with his right foot could be something spectacular for him to score from there. And even Cunha broke through. Um, the only way he's going to score if he shot across right into the bottom corner. similar to Raul Jimenez for Fulham last season, and that is a very low XG shot, especially when you've got Gabriel there hounding you and Raya, who has very good positional sense as a goalkeeper and a decent sprint to stop those chances. So I wasn't too worried about their chances. They did create a decent chance through Cunha in the first half. Raya with a very smart save down to the left hand side. I don't think it was going in, to be honest, but we'll never know. But nonetheless, you still got to make that save, and he got down there very quick and tipped the ball round. Uh, Not around the corner, it was from a corner, but he tips it away from the goal. Nonetheless, that was very good. Um, in that first half, after our goal, I don't think we did much ourselves. I mean, all pre-season we were crying out for our transitions. And in that first half, we actually did have some very good transitional opportunities. Some quick roll-ups from Raya to Odegaard, who travelled well with the ball. It was just our final passes numerous times, Odegaard, he's overhit the pass for Gyökeres down the side. Martinelli, when we got the ball, he's overhit to Odegaard the other side. There was a time when you had Martinelli and Saka running Odegaard again. It's a through ball, which is overhit. I mean, it's good we're getting those chances, those opportunities, but we need to be clinical. You saw Bournemouth on Friday. Semenyo, he's got the ball. He's travelled the whole pitch. He's cut inside, bang, bomb, corner. And that's what teams intend to do to us when we give them transitional opportunities. They take their chances. We didn't even get shots. We didn't even create an opportunity from our transitions. It wasn't just one or two, it was three or four chances, three or four opportunities, I say. So to create zero chances from those transitional opportunities, it's not very encouraging. Do I expect us to get this opportunity against the lower teams? I'm not too sure if we'll get those chances against the promoted teams or the bottom half teams of the table. I mean, when we go to Liverpool, Anfield in a couple of games, if we do get those opportunities, we have to be very clinical and at least get some sort of chances from those transitional opportunities because they will give us those chances. To be honest, the way they defend, two at the back, fullbacks high. Sometimes they empty the midfield as they did on Friday. So we need to work on being more clinical and taking those chances if we're going to prosper in the transitional period. Um, I mean, half time is 1-0, and they were on top. Uh, the second half, the start of the second half for me started the same. There was nothing over nothing. We were just defending well. They weren't really creating any chances as such. A couple of long shot efforts, which is easy for Ryan to save. Um, but then they brought on Ahmad around the 60th minute mark, and he's more of an attacking player compared to Dallo, and you saw that straight away. He wasn't interested in defending. He pushed up alongside. He was basically parallel with Dorgu, who was playing very hard in the first half, and that pushed back Martinelli very much so. And I think we responded straight away by bringing on Noni, because I think Noni maybe has more of a attacking sense, a bit of a more powerful runner, better dribbler maybe than Martinelli. Well, they're both powerful to be honest. But again, Martinelli wasn't in the game at all really. Um, so I think the thought process may have been to bring on Nani to help push back Ahmed, to help relieve that pressure on that side. But it didn't really help to be honest. They were coming down that side. Ahmed was doing well versus Calafiori a couple of times. He beat him. Well, defenders done well to clear any crosses that he put in the box. Um, and obviously that meant Mbuemo moved inside one lane. I don't think he was too effective. He had a couple, like I say, I think he was one of the people that had a long shot, but I think he kind of stifled his game, bringing on Ahmad, who was playing in his basically his position that he wanted to play out wide. But obviously they were 1-0 down, so they had to go a bit more attacking. Um, and they also brought on Sesko. Uh, so I think they went to a three at the back proper, and it was like a 3-2-4-1, essentially with Dorgu, Cunha, and Buemo, and Ahmed with Sesko up top. And I think we defended very well. Champions grind out results, and we ground out a result. How many cross they put in, we cleared very, very easily. I mean, he had one cross ahead of him in Buemo, which at first looked thought was a great save, but on replay, I mean, some of the league goalkeepers are making that save. It was heading into the ground. It bounced from a perfect height for Raya to push over, push round. I keep saying push round and go for a corner, but it wasn't. Push away from the goal. Um, and yeah, I mean, there was one moment in the second half which caused a bit of a dispute online. The tackle by Saliba, I wouldn't say tackle, it's a collision with Saliba and Cunha in the box. I mean, I'll be honest, on first viewing, the first replay, I thought it was a penalty. But the replay came so quick and I made an instant judgment, made it as a penalty. But when I got a chance to see it again, I, I'll be honest, I don't think it was a penalty purely because Cunha's foot is in the air and they're both fighting for that same spot. Now, had Cunha's foot been planted and Saliba hit his ankle then, hands up, as a penalty. Um, but I think when the ball coming across, Cunha was trying to get his foot across so he could plant it and do like a Cruyff shot for his leg. But Saliba was quick and he's probably thinking he's going to shoot outside of his left foot. I went to block that, and it was just it was a collision of their feet. So for me, no, it wasn't a penalty. Like I said, had the foot been planted, 100% I would have given a penalty. And I think luckily, if the ref had given a penalty, I don't think VAR would have overturned it, to be honest. So I think we're fortunate the referee had seen it properly um, and not given a penalty. So yeah, but yeah, I mean overall, like I said, it wasn't pretty at all. We wasn't playing. I mean, in that last game against Bilbao, we saw a lot of like switching of our holding mid, our six, with Zubimendi and Rice dropping back essentially beside him, and allowing Odegaard to stay in that pocket and receive the ball. But we didn't see any of that, to be honest. Rice, I won't say Rice had a poor game, but he wasn't his lung busting self. Um, I think Zubimendi was tidy. He was tidy on the ball. He kept ticking over. His passes, his percentage of passes always be in the high 90s because he's very efficient with his passes. He made a number of tackles, interceptions. So yeah, I wasn't too worried about Zubimendi. He's not a sprinter. I think he's going to be about 5, 6 sprints in a game. So he's not running about all over the place. He's just in the right place at the right time. His positional sense is very, very good. Um, so I think he played well. I was just surprised that we didn't actually do that sort of like rotation that I thought that we did against Bilbao, because I think that helped play us more direct balls into the final third, which we didn't see today. We didn't see any of that today. We were talking about it from our last preseason game, our use of direct balls into Saka over the top, and yeah, we just didn't see it today. I think we didn't get a chance to. Just passing was off today as a team. So we kind of stifled ourselves in that sense. Just to mention what I said at the start of the pod in terms of our fullbacks and Ben White, where they had Dorgan and Buemo. Um, I was surprised that Timber didn't start because, like I said, Calafiori, he's a player. He doesn't invert like MLS. He likes to roam. So you'll see him. I mean, for the goal, he was up there. I know it was a set pick, a throw-in, but he was up there chasing the ball back on the counter press to win it back for a corner. Um, but yeah, you'll find Calafiori in their final third. I think at one point he was on the other side of the pitch. So with that, we leave a two at the back with Zubimendi in front. Whereas if you have a Timber, he doesn't really attack like that to support Saka. So he's pretty much like a safety net in that sense. And if you have Ben White and you have MLS, where MLS inverts, he's still available in a defensive sense. So he's there to stop any breaks just in front. So we have like a box four. It would be MLS, Zubi, and the back two. So that box four is still there. It's pretty solid, and we've got a good defensive shape. But like I said, they were finding those pockets either side of Zubimendi because our fullbacks were pushing on or out position in terms of Calafiore. And yeah, I was just surprised that that was the lineup that he went for. I'm not sure. if back on Zubi, what's his name? Amarin. I'm not sure if Amarin knew we were going to set up that way, but his tactics came off against our tactics. We just couldn't get a goal on the day for their team. I mean, just going back, Dorgu had a very good chance from his high position. I spoke about him way more than Quenya, but Dorgu also had a chance. Probably their best chance in terms of testing Raya. It hit the post, hit the outside of the post. But yeah, I don't think, yeah. Overall, like I said, overall in the game, I don't think we played well. We definitely didn't play well. We can all agree on that. We didn't play very well at all. We ground out a result. Man United had better chances. Although they had better chances, I don't think they were great chances. There was no one-on-ones as such. Raya wasn't really tested. There was no great saves from Raya. So yeah, I think they had 23, 22 shots registered, but yeah, it wasn't nothing to be worried about from a defensive sense, in my opinion. Um, one player I actually did skip I want to touch on is Victor Gyökeres. Obviously, he made his first Premier League start. There were the eyes of the world on him. 4:30 kickoff. There's no other games playing. Expectation of him is to lead our line, as I said previously, and score goals for us. I think he done well. Ran the channels. He showed his pace, getting into channels and strength. De Ligt, he's not a small guy. He's not a little Martinez. He's a big guy. He bodied him, put him on the floor, let him eat that grass. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's his first game. Um, I think the way we played against Bilbao, like I said, suited him more in terms of the balls that we played quicker and over the top. There was an opportunity in the second half, like I said, from Odegaard. He chose to pass to Saka, where Gyökeres actually bent his run, and had he seen him, he could have put him through because I think he's onside. Yoro played him onside. Um, so, I mean, overall, it wasn't the greatest debut from Gyökeres. Um, but in the transition, if we can clean that up, he'll be there to be put through, and take those chances. I think he'll play better against Leeds. He'll have more chances against Leeds. Obviously, Leeds are a lesser opponent. So yeah, let's not be too down on Gyökeres. There's more to come. I do hope that Mikel Arteta does stick with Gyökeres and doesn't switch to Kai Havertz the next game. Because Havertz, when he did come on, he looked really lively, big and strong, holding that ball up, winning fouls to help us get up the pitch, take a bit of air out of the game. Um, but I think had it been the other way around, Gyökeres could have come and done the same thing. Fresh legs, the game state, doing what we needed to be done. So yeah, hopefully Arteta sticks with Gyökeres in our next game. Um, just finally, I don't think many teams will go to Old Trafford and take points like they did last season. I think there'll be a better team this season. Maybe finish top five, top six. Their new signings bode well for them. They look good. Um, so yeah, I think it's a very good 3 points, given the way we played and given this new look Man United. Yeah, we'll take it. I mean, who started Liverpool? Started at home with Bournemouth. I think when we play Bournemouth, we'll beat them at home. And City play their way against Wolves. Again, a place I think we're going to get 3 points against. We'll see how they do when they go to Old Trafford. See if they get 3 points like us. So yeah, 3 points. We take it. We move. Yeah, I mean, thank you all for listening again. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. If you listen to Apple or Spotify, leave a 5-star review and a 5-star rating. And also follow us on TikTok and Twitter, the old or X as they call it these days. The links are in the bio. And yeah, we'll do a Leeds preview pod later in the week. But until then, all the best, everyone.